I was wondering, have you heard of the DB Cooper incident?
I have not.
You have
unfortunately.
I'm wondering if I can get it up.
Yeah, of course.
So, the DB Cooper incident, there was an instance once where it wasn't a terrorism act, but I believe he went on a plane, he got some money or something from the plane, and he landed somewhere. I don't know. I'm just trying to get it up.
I might have heard of the incident.
Yeah, I just want to show you.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Hang on. So he hijacked a plane and he managed to land.
Yep.
And but they never found him.
Oh right, they didn't find him, or they found the plane.
They found the plane, but
right, but he's still.
Despite an extensive manhunt and an ongoing FBI investigation, the perpetrator has never been located or positively identified. This case remains the only unsolved air piracy in American aviation history.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look at that. 727 in 1971.
Yeah, that was, because I'm not sure what exactly he did, but it wasn't a terrorism act, but he got on the plane. He hijacked it. I believe he took some, I think it was like money or something.
Yeah. Well, he extorted $200,000.
Yeah. And
which is equivalent to $1,170,000 in 2016.
I mean, and that's, the only, like, unsolved or whatever it said there.
No, that's...
Yeah, so I was just wondering if you're aware of that.
No, I wasn't aware of that, actually, but that is sort of quite scary, I guess, the fact that someone could actually... I mean, hijackings are not so common now. I mean, obviously you have... And with the locking the cockpit door, it keeps terrorists out, but, sometimes you have... I mean, this doesn't happen very often anymore, but I've heard of cases where the pilot might have got fired from his job, I did watch an air crash investigation and someone got fired from his job.
Oh.
His life was no good and he just crashed the plane himself, which is quite crazy because that was in a time where you could go into the cockpit, but he did lock the door. And like nowadays, we have quite a lot of psychological support, like screening support. I mean, airlines will look after their pilots usually. Well, they should anyway if they're a good airline.
Yeah.
But it's just sort of a interesting thing. We place so much emphasis on keeping terrorists out. We forget to check on our own people, I guess. But yeah.
How do you deal with that? Like, in terms of you're mentioning to me like the theory behind it, and I said the practical side.
Yeah.
Can it feel like a chore sometimes?
Oh, learning about aviation.
Yeah, or is it just like a real interest?
No. Yeah. See, the thing is, it is quite difficult. Like, there is it's quite a demanding course they're actually doing, there is like a financial burden, I guess. If you didn't want to do it, you're kind of wasting your time. But, it is hard, but it's really interesting stuff. Well, we all find it interesting. Like, we're all, everyone in my course, they want to do this. They want to do this job. This is what they want to do for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And, we all share the same passion. And it's just, it's really good. It's hard stuff, but it's really interesting stuff, and it's good fun, being able to apply the stuff that you learnt up in the air and seeing, like, doing all this new stuff, like going through clouds and that kind of thing. That's really cool. Coming to land without looking outside, that's crazy. Like,
I mean, and that's something, money can't buy, that experience, the financial burden, like, who cares? If you're really, and especially with aviation, that's such an interesting
sort of
subject.
Specific thing, I guess.
Yeah, and especially as as we mentioned before, the technology is just advanced at a rapid rate.
Oh, it is rapidly.
Yeah, even on airplanes. Yeah.
All the new systems. It's ridiculous.
For instance, have you heard about the idea that they're trying to build a plane which can take passengers to the moon? Or to space?
I've heard, yeah. Well, technically, space is not that high up. you know, like you could probably go there in some high altitude aircraft. That's technically speaking, but yeah, no, I know what you mean. I guess that would be a massive step, for sort of aviation, mankind in general, because you know, since we discovered space travel, you'd have to be trained to be able to even go into space. But you know, having an aircraft that can actually go up there, just like taking passengers, that's just, you know, it's crazy. Yeah, it's just, you know, you can't even sort of comprehend. Like, you know, when you see the engineering that goes into something like even an A380, you know, the largest passenger jet, no, $432 million plane, and it's just ridiculous. You know, you've got heaps of different countries, you know, producing different parts of the plane. You know, some countries might produce the tail fin, and then you got some countries doing the wings and that kind of thing. So, yeah, the amount of engineering that goes into it is just, yeah, it's just insane. And then you think about how much further you'd have to go to actually get into space. You know, it's just
so
it's awesome to think that they're actually gonna.
Yeah, I've heard a rumor that it could happen. It could happen in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aviation's sort of advancing very quickly. You know, all the new we have, like, it's not even the technology in the plane, technology at airports. You know, they're studying, you know, how to get passengers through as quickly as possible. You know, where do you put the security gates? You know, what constitutes like a good airport. You know, nowadays, you know, you have Singapore airport with, you know, like pools and everything. You know, that's sort of something that you wouldn't have seen back in the day. But yeah, you know, we have all these new procedures for like landing, because currently you sort of line up really far back from the runway. You sort of sync your plane with these radio signals on the ground, and you can fly it down. But you know, in the future, you could be able to just sort of come from the side, go straight down, and it sort of frees up airspace as well, because that's a problem nowadays. You know, planes will get to Heathrow, for example, and you'll be sitting there for how long, circling over the top. But you know, with sort of more efficient procedures, you can get people on the ground faster, and it does reduce the environmental impact as well. Because you have less time in the air. But then I guess there would be accommodation for more planes, so